Greetings friends, it's me, Wayman29. This is a video concerning the Walter and Greg Monroe exchange within the last 2 days. Very interesting stuff going on. And it raises the questions. They're both great guys. They both mean well. But it raises the question, is one Christian able to criticize another? And when that happens, how much do we take personally? And how is that criticism handled? And are we allowed to use humor to criticize one another, to poke fun at one another? And is that necessarily saying that we're wronging our brother when such things occur? I think being on YouTube, sometimes we take things a little more seriously than we need to. What I mean is, sometimes people use humor to point something out, or they use sarcasm. I know I do that. And I think that when I become overly serious about topics, although there are certain topics that I am overly serious about, but I understand that there needs to be some kind of sense of humor in order to be able to talk about the topic. And sometimes the topic needs to be presented in different ways in order to create some kind of discussion. And I was kind of interested because Walter really took it personally, or he appeared to on video. I think he did. And then he came out and did a video to Greg Monroe about whether he loved the religion more than the deity or God. And I don't think that should have been a question that should have been asked. I guess really what I'm saying is, subscribing to a theology is done. Even by Walter, when he was talking, his points of view were subscribing to a different theology. And even his response to the apology video Greg Monroe made was a response to a theological idea, because here these two people got in a little tiff. I think that it was taken the wrong way by both, maybe. And what happened is, the theology says that you shouldn't be doing such things to a brother, and they took it all seriously, and then they needed to make an apology because they felt terrible about it. And I guess my thing is that believers of the same belief system should be able to slice and dice each other up pretty good. However, in the end, it shouldn't be about, I'm not talking to you, I'm splitting my ideas from yours. I think that it should be handled differently. I guess what I mean is, the belief system should not be an organization of self-help. There's plenty of books in psychology for that. It's not a support group. It's not a self-help group. Like, along with other people, ideas are shared. However, it's a thing that should be done alone. Building your own salvation, which is talked about in Pauline theology. How do we do that? And how much of a role do other people play? Yes, we can look to other spiritual people for insight, and we can look to other people for advice and companionship. However, in the end, we should know that people are always people. People will make mistakes, and what is good for them may not necessarily spiritually be good for you. So how do we do that? How do we criticize one another constructively? And how do we accept that feedback? And how do we apply it to our lives? Apply it to the literature? And when we're reading the literature, how much interpretation do we put on it from our own theologies? And how much does our theology affect the way we see the world and other people who may criticize us? Now there's a video that I did on, it was kind of a fun, humorous video I did on Messianic deception methods. I can't wrap my head around Messianic ideas. However, I do not hate Messianics. They have a theology. They follow it, and they contribute. They contribute to the interpretation of New Testament literature. They contribute to interpretation of Old Testament literature. And I do not expect it to be in line with Jewish theology. I don't expect Christian theology to be in line with Jewish theology, and vice versa. So there's a lot out there. However, it does create discussion, and I think that videos like this need to create some kind of discussion on the issue. And what's amazing is video is set in stone, and I think all videos should remain up. Here we had Walter saying, well, maybe we should take that video down, but that was Greg Monroe being a human being. That was Walter being a human being, and it was pretty interesting to see the human side of both of these individuals be caught on camera, and the emotional side, and we need to think about that, and we need to think about, in video, how do we project ourselves? I even think about it. You know, there might be some videos, if you go back, I leave everything up. I never removed a video because I believe that it's there as a record for the progression that you have made and things that you've went through, and that's what makes YouTube like a petri dish, and it's very powerful. So I don't know, just something to think about, and I think that Walter and Greg Monroe should be able to duke it out and have theological discussions, and without actually end up taking it all that personally. Listen to other people's views, and do it constructively. There's no reason to get overly emotional about it, but maybe there is. But great videos, guys, and I really enjoyed the exchange. I saved all those videos because I found the exchange extremely interesting, the interaction between two Christians from two different theological positions, and how they believe they should react towards each other, in contrast to how they acted on the fly, or in an unscripted way. What happened was they didn't react in the scripted theological way. They realized it, so they had to go back and redo it. And that was pretty amazing to see. So maybe I got this wrong, but take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.